We're talking push trucks, PA posse, really big right rear wheels, and racing on dirt. From Silver Dollar to Williams Grove, Eldora to Devil's Bowl, and of course, Knoxville. This is Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Now your hosts, Steve Post and Erin Evernham.
Hello again. It is MRN Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tire, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. We are so glad you joined us, Erin Evernham and Steve Post, and we have got an elbows-up show. Man, we have got more chalked into this hour than you can shake a stick at. It's like virtually everybody that's ever raced a sprint car joins us, and everyone who's ever talked about sprint cars ever joined. Well, not quite, but we do have a great show. Chris Dolack from Speed Sport News is going to join us in just a moment. This is so exciting what they have going on. I can't wait to share it with you, and it's going to be a fun project over the next few weeks. Danny Dietrich, the winner of Pennsylvania Speed Week, going to join us. Sheldon Haudenschild, the
swept the weekend.
Broke out the broom with the All-Stars. Yeah, whooped them up in Michigan. And Brad Doty going to join us because we're 1 week out from the Brad Doty Classic at Attica Raceway Park. So it is going to be a great show. Before we get started, though, I want to just jump right off into the ocean.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, the ocean way up in Alaska. We had at our Knoxville Nationals a couple of years ago, Casey McManus join us, okay? Now, I'm going to be brutally honest here. Casey McManus didn't mean much to me, okay? Krager lost his mind because Krager is a card-carrying follower of The Deadliest Catch. And I've seen the show, and I watched a couple episodes, but I never got hooked on it.
Yeah.
Well, he went to Knoxville. He just showed up in Knoxville, hanging out with Clausen, I believe it was. Well, we got a tweet, and Krager's going to put it up. Those of you watching on YouTube can see it. Wing Nation, tweet my seat, Kendra and Steve. I'm stuck in the captain's seat of the Cornelia Marie Keep Me Posted.
That's really cool.
Casey, thank you for joining us. Thank you for following along, and we will do our best at keeping you posted. So, Krager, like you could have had Schatz, Kinzer, Sammy, and Doug Wolfgang there, and Krager's like, get out of the way, Casey McManus is here, you know. Exactly. So it is cool. It is cool. And I'm like the same way, like when it comes to celebrity chefs. People are like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? So we all have our passions, and that was Krager's. And it was great meeting Casey, man. What a cool guy, and just a diehard sprint car fan.
We love
you gotta
that.
love him.
Yeah,
gotta
absolutely.
love him. Let's take a look at our Valco Racing Wheels results page, looking at Badlands this past weekend for the World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprint Cars. Brad Sweet, 7th win of the season. But, Erin, I think the thing that's interesting, the first since May 13th.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've been strong. Both KKR cars have been really strong. But
you know, strong is great.
But not with that tour. You need
to be winning.
Yeah.
Because that other guy in that 15 car is winning.
Yes.
And he picked up the win on Sunday night, his 12th win of the season. Here we go again.
Yep.
And we're getting into his portion of the year where he generally is strong. So great racing up at Badlands, Central Pennsylvania, and we'll talk with Danny Dietrich. He was the Speedweek champion. He won Williams Grove, the Mitch Smith Memorial, and Sealands Grove. His worst finish was 6th.
That's a good speed week.
That is a great speed week. You talked about one time a couple weeks ago, you talked about junking a race car in the middle of speed week. He didn't junk anything in the middle.
That's the worst.
Car wash, tune up, and right on to the next one.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Probably not nearly as exhausted as some of the others.
I am very certain of that for sure. $29,300 he won. Greg Hodnett, kind of a shocker, only one win. He won at Path Valley. Lucas Wolf won Saturday night at Port Royal. So good to see Lucas score a win. And the other story from Pennsylvania Speedweek, Lance DeWeese won Lincoln, which we talked about last week, Hagerstown, and Port Royal. Yeah.
So what's their record now?
It's like I've lost touch. It's like it was over 50%. Lincoln was 5 of 9. So they won 2 more, I think. So there's 7 of 11 or something like that. It's stupid. It's absolutely
awesome.
stupid. Lance DeWeese and Donnie Kreitz are ruining the sport of sprint car. No, they're not. It's the greatest story we have this year.
Do we need a name for him now?
Yeah, you got to get a name for him. Yeah, don't show up Kreitz. You know, don't show up DeWeese. Yeah, don't show up DeWeese, exactly, because you ruin the racing because you guys are so stinking good. No, it's great. Great stuff in Central Pennsylvania. We'll talk to Dietrich in just a little bit. Arctic Cat All-Star Circuit of Champions, we mentioned it. Sheldon Haudenschild swept the weekend. Really, really cool what he did there. National Sprint League, Friday night, Sammy Swindell. But you were disappointed.
I was. No dab.
No dab.
But did you see the video of the original? I finally
Did you see it?
Yeah.
No, I never saw it.
Oh, man, I'll have to look where I found it. Someone posted it. I finally saw it.
You know, he told us last week on the show, you never know what you're going to see in Victory Lane, and now he's got us. We're like, okay, Sam, you got to win another one because now we're curious about it.
All right, everyone get the video out.
Sucked us into this, and he keeps on winning. It's still winning, is what it is. Still winning. Yes, winning. IRA bumper-to-bumper sprints. I didn't realize this. Scotty Neitzel scored the win. The last race ever at the Manitowoc Expo Center. Grocery store chain has come in and bought the property, and so that really, really stinks, and I will never shop at that grocery store chain again. Seymour Tri-Oval Speedway, Mike Kirchner scored the win. Mike, a great story. Mike, the general manager at Road America. Or he was at one time. I don't know if he's still there or not. I'm not on Road America this year, so I haven't caught up with Mike. But he'd been on some downtime, jumped back behind the wheel of the car, and rolled it into Victory Lane. Not bad. Exactly. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour presented by MAV TV. Wow, this has really gone Sam Hafertepe Jr.'s way. Yeah. We talked to him a few weeks ago, and he has won 3 straight now. It's that Aaron Crocker touch, that good luck. Yes, exactly. Something like that. Something like that. 3 big ones. Both races, Friday and Saturday night. It was the second annual Fred Brownfield Classic at Grays Harbor. It was Hafertepe, Wayne Johnson, Johnny Herrera, same top 3 on Saturday night, with Hafertepe getting his 6th overall win. Sam's starting to roll. Yeah, he is. What's that like when you get into a fight? It's got to just be the greatest thing in the world when you get to that stage.
I never really had a roll.
Well, I mean, it's all relative. I know because had you stuck with the sprint cars, you certainly would have had those phases where you can't do anything wrong.
There was a short time in the 360s with ESS that I won a few in a row. We just had, actually, I wrecked some cars in between, but there was a few wins, and you just, I don't know, your confidence is high, everything. It's hard to describe. It's that feeling of winning and feeling confident and
it's amazing.
And walking into the pit area and thinking they're eyeing me up. They're checking out what we're putting on our car.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. Well, that's what they're doing on the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour with Hafertepe. They roll east to Montana. Weekly 410 racing, Mark Dobmeyer, Doug Zimmerman, Chris Myers, Jack Soderman Jr. Jack Haudenschild scored again this past weekend. He won again. Craig Lager, and last night at Silver Dollar Speedway, Sean Becker scored the victory. So they raced on Monday night out in Chico, California. Valco Racing Wheels results page, www.valco.com. That's Valco Racing Wheels. And we are locked in now. I believe is Chris. Okay, we have him, okay. We have got, folks, I am telling you, this is the coolest thing that we've been involved in quite some time. Chris Dolack joins us from Speed Sport on the line. Hello, Chris. Welcome into Wing Nation.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
I am doing really well because we've been playing around with this project you have for about the last month, and we're so excited today because I've wanted to tell everyone about it, but I said, no, we got to wait our time, Chris, what do you guys were sitting around having lunch one day, and out of that came something really, really cool. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, we get into arguments over here about different things, and so we got into this argument about who were the greatest drivers in the Knoxville Nationals history. And, by the end of it, a couple of us were on one side, a couple others on the other side, and we said, there's only one way to solve this. Let's go assemble a big panel and do this big thing. So we did, and what we did is we created the Ultimate Knoxville Nationals A-Main. And in essence, what we've done is we asked a whole slew of people for their opinions, and we ranked them by, everybody. We sent out a ballot, actually, and we had everybody kind of vote, more or less, for, who was the greatest drivers in the 5-Hour Energy Knoxville Nationals history. And based on where everybody ranked their drivers, we assigned a point value to it, and we created a 24-car field. And we're excited today to begin with Wing Nation announcing row by row each week leading up to the Knoxville Nationals, and then reveal the final row that Wednesday when we're down there or out there there.
Yeah, exactly. It is so cool, Chris, because and we were fortunate. I think you did us you didn't do us a favor by giving us one ballot because
it got heated amongst us.
Oh my gosh! I mean, exactly. I mean, we had temper tantrums. We had people throwing laptops at each other, which is exactly what happened with you guys at lunch. And I think it's so cool about this because we all had our different idea on how to put this together. And where we started and where we ended were, with a few exceptions, were 2 different lists. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was amazing because when someone, one of our team here, and our whole team, we all got together at this, and when someone would bring up a point, it's like, well, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
And it's so cool, and that's what it's going to be here. So each week, what we're going to do over the next 6 weeks is we're going to unveil another row of the 4-wide salute, the Speed Sports 24 driver Ultimate Knoxville Nationals A-Main starting field. And so with that set up, Chris, the final row, who made it in to the 24 car field for the Knoxville Nationals?
Right.
Yes.
And I can't channel Johnny Gibson. If I could only channel Johnny Gibson, this would help me out a lot.
If any of us could, if any of us could, we'd be far better off. Believe me, nobody can't. Nobody, exactly.
Well, all right. Well, starting 24th is going to be Jeff Swindell. Jeff is qualified for 17 of the Knoxville Nationals A-Mains. His first start was in 1980. And his last feature start was in 1999. Second-generation Tennessee racer, has 6 top 5 finishes and a pair of runner-ups, and that moved him into the 24th spot.
Wow.
And then starting 23rd, we've got Craig Kinzer, a third-generation sprint car driver. Craig made history in 2005 when he became the only son of a Knoxville Nationals winner to capture the sport's most prestigious race, and he won it in only his 3rd Nationals start. He's made 7 Nationals A-Mains with his first start coming in 2003. Let's see, moving on to 22, we have Jay Woodside, longtime Kansas sprint car racer, won the Knoxville Nationals in 1966. It was his 3rd of 7 starts. He came home 5th in his final Nationals feature in 72. And then the 21st starter, or the last driver in the 6th row of our Ultimate A-Main, is Craig Dolansky. And Craig has yet to win the Knoxville Nationals. He has 18 A-Main starts. He's been one of the most consistent performers in the history of the race. He made his first Nationals feature in 93. He's got 8 top 5 finishes, 14 top 10s, and 4 third-place efforts. So that is the back row, the 6th row of your Ultimate A-Main.
Wow.
For the Knoxville Nationals.
Oh my gosh! When you think about this, and that's the thing, all the 3 of them, most of us have seen race, but Jay Woodside, I mean, a lot of people, you got to go back into the 60s on that, and I think that's the fascinating part about it is looking at stats. How they all rank up is just amazing. What a start! To make that field's pretty impressive. That's an impressive list.
Yeah, and that was one of the hard parts about this was, I didn't see some of these guys race back in the day, and so it was important to us to make sure that on our panel we had a whole slew of racers who either raced with these guys or saw these guys. We grabbed a couple of sort of racing historians in addition to some of the media and former racers. So we had a really good representative sample of media, racers, historians, to make sure that we included everybody, that everybody ranked in there somewhere. This back row, the row 6, next week we'll reveal row 5. There were, 22, 23 different winners of this race over the course of history. So, just by seeing what we have here, we have Dolansky, who hadn't won. You're going to have a couple guys in this field here who maybe haven't won the race, but their performance has, over the years, has moved them into that top 24.
Yeah, that's where our debate got from quite candidly, we started with it, and it's like, well, there's been 23 winners of the race. There we go. Who's 24th? Right. Well, then you start looking, but some guy had kind of a one-off win, and some guy like Dolansky.
Like Craig had a one-off.
Exactly. Yeah, like Dolansky with 18 Knoxville National starts, and it's like, how do they balance out? How do you balance that out? And so it is really, really cool. We're Speed Sport, of course, you guys on all the social media platforms. We can follow along and have some fun with it there. Is that correct?
Yep. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or speedsport.com. We'll have all sorts of stuff going. As we get closer, we're going to be asking fans to, let us know who your top 24 is once we find out who our top 24 ultimately wound up being. And I know as we get closer and closer, the debate is going to get hotter and hotter. Nationals, of course, August 10th to 13th. So I just know over here how much debate and argument there's still going on about who's in, who's not in, who should be in, who should have been here, who should have been there. It's been fun. It's almost like a little bit of a fantasy league, if you will, for sprint car racing in the Knoxville Nationals to decide who should be here and who shouldn't be there.
And once we get the list unveiled, we'll have a big old wrestling match out at Knoxville arguing about it. That is fantastic. Chris, we look forward to chatting with you throughout the process here. Thanks for choosing Wing Nation to share this with, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun with it, and we'll talk to you down the road. But thanks for coming on and sharing this big project with you. It's the Speed Sports Ultimate Knoxville Nationals A main list. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, guys.
There we go. That is Chris Dolack. Now, that's fun.
That is fun.
It wasn't fun at a few moments when we were in the middle of our...
Yeah, those emails between the group. I looked at one point, and I had like 10 emails, all this whole group response.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, boy, I don't know that I want to be kind of in the middle of this. So anyhow, but that's the fun part about it, and we're going to keep you posted. We'll let you know what the Wing Nation list looked like along the way as well. We need to step away because when we come back... Mr. Pennsylvania Speed Week champion himself, Double D, Danny Dietrich, joins us.
Winged Nation with Steve and Erin will return right after this on MRN.com.
The 25th year of the Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series is about to begin.
Expanded national and regional tours, over 150 events across the United States, and some of sprint car racing's biggest names and rising stars.
The 25th anniversary of the Lucas Oil ASCS is one you don't want to miss. Find out when the American Sprint Car Series is near you in 2016 at ASCSRacing.com. Find us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter,
and get all the action away from the track live at RacingBoys.com.
O'Reilly. If your AC is blowing hot air, let O'Reilly Auto Parts help bring back the cool this summer. While you may need to eventually service your AC unit, get immediate relief with Interdynamics R134A refrigerant with leak sealer. Buy two, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Victory Junction, it's simple. We believe every child, no matter their diagnosis or disability, deserves the chance to just be a kid. So we provide a medically safe environment where children who live in a world of hospital stays and doctor's visits are free to do everything from riding horses, ziplining, swimming, fishing, and bowling, all at no cost to the camper. The experience inspires confidence, builds self-esteem, and changes the life of every child who comes here. Help us change a child's life at victoryjunction.org.
This is Winged Nation on MRN.com. Now, back to Steve Post and Erin Evernham.
It is time to go to the Hercules Tire Hotline. Joining us on the Classic Inc. pole position is the champion of Pennsylvania Speed Weeks, Danny Dietrich. Hello, Danny. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
First off, just congratulations.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy week, that's for sure. I appreciate that.
Well, dude, okay, now here's just the reality of this thing, okay? We all announced that this was the Greg Hodnett benefit week. Okay, I'm being totally serious with you. The way Hodnett's been running, and really everyone else has had little places of struggle along the way. First off, when you hear all of us knuckleheads talk about stuff like that, does that piss you off? And just tell us about your week, too, because you certainly turned what we thought was a story into a bigger story.
Yeah, no, it don't bother me too much. I get tired of watching him win. You know, it does get a little frustrating as far as the racing side of it. As far as what anybody says, that don't usually bother me. But, it's just like everybody else. We got tired of watching him win, and you're going to do everything you can to keep him from winning. And it's not that we haven't been trying. You know, we've been fast. We just need, like I told you before, luck to come our way. And finally we were able to have a little bit of luck here and plug it off. We've had a fast car. We just needed to be able to go and kind of race. When we went into the Ohio Speed Weeks, I remember telling you we just needed to go and race more, and I think the more we raced, the better we got. So,
how gratifying was it to pass Hodnett for the win and steal that one from him at Williams Grove?
It's pretty good. We were pretty good the whole feature, just kind of driving behind him. I thought I was a little better than he was. Actually, thought I was a lot better than he was, but the track got narrowed up there, and I thought I was going to have a hard time getting by him. But it gets to the point where you kind of, in my opinion, I was going to push the issue. You know, if I couldn't get by him the next couple laps, I was going to try and just make it work. You know, just because we were that much faster, we were going to have to push the issue to pass him, and he missed the bottom, and he didn't miss it by much. He kind of got into his left front just a little bit, but he left the door open for me to get there, and we were at least able to pounce on it, you know, when he did that.
Yeah, the knock on him is he's aggressive. Okay, well, then you got, if he's going to race you that way, you did exactly. I thought it was fantastic. I thought that was really, really cool. Danny, you talk about going to Ohio, and those of us that have never climbed aboard a race car or dealt with the team dynamic, we're like, you went out in Ohio, and from a statistical standpoint, it didn't go all that well. But why was that so key when you got back home to Pennsylvania?
We just learned so much out there in Ohio. I mean, it's just, you know, realistically, we go out there. We don't go out there to win. Yeah, it would be nice. That would be awesome if we could put ourselves in position to go out and win. You know, to win, we would obviously try and take advantage of that. But you know, we don't have a really big notebook like I've been telling other people. You know, we have what we do around here, and we have Knoxville, and that's about it. You know, so we get to go out to Ohio and see different racetracks and different bankings and services, and you have to be forced to get out of your element of what you do around here. You got to break bad habits, and that's basically what we did. You know, it allows me to get racing, and that, obviously the more seat time I get, the better I am, and the more Jake Hinkle, the crew chief, can see different racetracks, the more it helps him too. You know, as far as tuning the car to get a little bit better with some of these services.
Danny, what are some of the things that you can learn on at different tracks that you can come home and apply to the tracks that you run weekly? Like, how important is it for you to, like you're talking about running different bankings, but what are things like specifically that you can learn?
Just where to put weight in a race car, how to tighten a race car up. You know, we get into around here just doing the same setups, the same tactics, the same mental idea of making a car tight. Where when we go out to Ohio, you see different forms of racetracks. You know, not just different surfaces. You know, you see different bankings, the way the tracks might be banked in the middle of the track instead of on the top or on the bottom, you know, and then you learn how to race that track, and you learn how to set it up to be a little bit faster, because it's a whole different way of getting a hold of the racetrack, you know, when you go to places like that. And I think more or less it's just breaking a habit. You know, the stuff that we do around here don't work in Ohio, you know, and I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think what you can do in Ohio, you can come back here and do the similar things to it and get faster in different ways that other people aren't. You know, you can sit there and run around the same speed as everybody else and be just as good at certain parts of the racetrack, but you got to be able to get better at part of the track that nobody else is better at.
Man, I tell you, it's so exciting to see what you've done here. Danny, as we start to look forward, of course, we know there's a big week in August when you and everyone else were going out to Knoxville. Between now and then, what kind of schedule, any special events? What are you looking at between now and Knoxville?
We got the Grove, Lincoln. We got a makeup feature at Lincoln this Saturday. So we'll be there. Going to Trailways on Sunday. They're going to have an Armin Hostetter Memorial race there, and that's somewhere I grew up racing. You know, I grew up racing Trailways. It wasn't never really that great and that good there, but we're going to go give her a shot here again this weekend. But we haven't been there in, I bet, 6-7 years. You know, so it'll be kind of an even playing field, I think, for everybody. And then we go to the Grove and Port Royal up until the Knoxville Nationals. We'll go to Port, try and get a little bit better on our big track stuff, and you know, I'd like to go back to the good place to go. I thought before Knoxville would be Hagerstown. That's a similar track for us. We just don't get down there other than once a year. So we'll go to Port Royal and try and focus on getting our car locked down to slick a little bit better on the big tracks.
Well, that makes perfect sense to hit up those tracks. So I love following you on social media because, of course, you're very outspoken and like to share your opinion. But I got to know what this new Twitter handle is that you're thinking about coming up with, this @Snot Danny Dietrich. What's this all about?
It's kind of like the Bloomquist, the Snot Bloomquist Twitter handle, but I don't think we're going to go down that route. I think I do well enough on my own, just having my regular name. So.
Yeah, I don't think you need a pseudonym.
So it's been pretty quiet there the last couple of weeks. You know, we've been so busy, and I kind of just decided when we went into this whole Speedweek thing, I was going to try and put it all to the side, you know, there's a little bit here and there. it's just something we got to focus on racing. It's okay when you're just racing on the weekends. In the middle of the week, you can get some things fired up like we did the other week. But it's from here on, it's pretty much all business. We're not far behind what we were doing last year as far as wins, so we got a little catching up to do. But I think we'll catch back up here soon.
At this pace, it's looking really, really good. Danny, congratulations again. Thanks again for the time. I know we'll chat as the season continues, but and enjoy the spoils of victory, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you. We'll see you guys really soon here at Knoxville.
Yes, indeed we will. That's Danny Dietrich joining us here on the program. And yes, while his Twitter machine speaks volumes, Victory Lane is a better way to speak than even Danny Dietrich's Twitter account. And he is learning that as well. He joins us on the Classic Ink pole position, Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery. In fact, Danny Dietrich and many other drivers use Classic Ink for great T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, more, all kinds of items. You can find out more information at www.classicinkusa.com. That's classicinkusa.com. Yeah, I don't think he needs a parody account. He does pretty well on his own.
Yeah. Isn't the whole idea the parody account like for someone else to kind of take it over?
Yeah, for someone else and to say things you don't want to say yourself. Well, he doesn't.
He
doesn't
have many filters.
No, he doesn't have a filter as it is, and he's got a pretty good right foot that seems to mash the gas pretty well on that race car. Speaking of mashing the gas pretty well on a race car, we need to step away. When we come back, Sheldon Haudenschild joins us.
Hey, this is Donnie Schatz, and you're listening to Kendra and Steve on Wing Nation here on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Racers, that's who Valco wheels are. That's who they know, and racing is what they know. Valco Wheels focuses oval track and grassroots racing, and understand racers need a quality wheel that fits your budget. With over 25 years experience, Valco Wheels produces the best product and give you face-to-face support and customer service at the track. Fast delivery, innovative products, problem solving. Find Valco Wheels at Valco.com on Twitter or Facebook, or call Valco Wheels at 609-758-7013. Valco Wheels.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa.
Honoring sprint car racing's greatest achievers.
25 historic sprint cars on display. A movie theater featuring sprint car racing films. And a breathtaking view of historic Knoxville Raceway. Go to SprintCarStuff.com for the largest sprint car gift shop on the planet. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gordon. Did you know that 43 children are diagnosed with cancer each and every day? That more children die from cancer than any other disease? Athletes of all ages are dedicating their stats to change these stats, and you can too. Visit JeffGordonChildren'sFoundation.org to become a Kick It champion. No matter what sport, you can use your points, laps, or goals to change the odds for kids with cancer. Make your stats really count. Become a Kick It champion.
Time now for a look at a great American dirt track presented by another great American dirt track, the Speed Palace, Port Royal Speedway.
This is Ashley Stremme. Jeff Gordon took his first checkered flag in a heat race at the age of 13 in 1985 at Millstream Speedway in Findlay, Ohio. He was then barred from racing due to his age, but returned when he was 16 to record 6 victories at the track. Millstream Speedway opened in 1954 when a number of businessmen invested $500 each to develop the track on 63 acres on donated land. Morris Canvera won the first race, and then the next 30 over the next year and a half. The competitors over the years read like a who's who in racing: Gordon, Bettenhausen, John Cock, Carter, Opperman, Kinzer, Ferkel, Swindell, Wolfgang, Hewitt, Blaney, and Doty, and many more have won on the half-mile semi-bank clay track. There have been over 200 different winners at Millstream, with around 600 drivers achieving top 5 finishes in 9 different classes of cars. The All-Star Circuit of Champions and Ohio Sprint Car Series make stops at the track, and Dale Blaney won this year's Ohio Speed Week event at the track. Millstream Speedway, a great American dirt track brought to you by another great American dirt track, the Speed Palace, Port Royal Speedway.
Thank you, Ashley. So cool. Millstream Speedway in the hands now of Randy Hammer. I've had a chance to meet Randy a couple of times, and man, that guy has such a passion for that racetrack, and it's a struggle. And, man, when they took it over, man, they had to clean up a whole bunch of messes. But he just rolled up his sleeves, went in there and worked hard, and they run some Sunday night shows, run the All-Stars a couple times, and really doing a nice job. So, and folks, on Facebook.com/WingNation, a little bit later this afternoon, if you're watching this live on Tuesday, we'll have the link up, and we'd love to hear your Millstream story, your favorite memory, or a favorite race, or even a clip from Millstream Speedway. Speaking of Ohio and great things in Ohio, let's go back to the Hercules Tire Hotline. Joining us now is the winner of both races this past weekend for the Arctic Cat All-Star Circuit of Champions. Sheldon Haudenschild's on the line. Hello, Sheldon. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, hey, Steve. Thanks for having me.
What's it like to have a weekend like you just had?
Well, it was pretty good, you know. I kind of just went into the weekend just thinking kind of survive. You know, last year we had a really bad weekend in Michigan. I didn't even make a lap at Butler, and we finished second at I-96, so that was decent last year. So I just kind of went into the weekend, you know, get through and get some top fives, and, you know, we came out 2 wins, so that was huge for us.
After the Ohio Speed Weeks and a busy time, were there things that you learned running every night? Did that help going into the Michigan weekend?
Yeah, definitely. You know, our Ohio Speed Week, we have some of the best guys come in, and you really got to have your qualifying down for a Speed Week. And, you know, we went into Michigan, and we qualified good both nights. So just starting like that helps you get through the first half of the night and start up front in that feature.
Are there? I've been to one of the tracks you raced at. I think I've been to I-96, or maybe it was Hartford. I've been to one of them. What are the tracks like up there? Are they similar to what you found or what you normally run over in Ohio?
Yeah, a little bit. Butler was actually really fast. You know, I only made a couple laps there last year, so to finally get the race there was pretty awesome. I don't know, the dirt's a little different there. It's pretty sandy at both of those tracks, so. I don't know, both of them were wide open both nights, so it was pretty fun.
Now, this was your 5th All-Star win this season, correct? So you guys have a good thing going on. How much are you looking forward to Knoxville? Are there things you're doing to prepare for that? I know you mentioned in one of your interviews that you've got a bunch of big races coming up and you've got some things to still work on.
Yeah, definitely. You know, kind of right now is the time you want to get going and you know, work on your weaknesses right now and try and have them worked out for Teams Royal and Knoxville. So, you know, just, I don't know. I think qualifying is so huge right now, especially with the outlaw format, and that's kind of just what I've been working on all year. You know, you watch Dale Blaney qualify, and he makes perfect laps every single weekend. So, you know, going into the outlaw shows, I think that's what you got to be good at and start up front in these features.
Sheldon, you and I have chatted before, I think on our weekend podcast a month or two ago. Your crew chief, Bonds Bruns, just longtime family crew chief. Just describe what that means to have someone that you have that kind of a relationship with calling the shots and working with you as you continue to develop as a driver.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge for me from having Bonsai around since I was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. And you know, he's pretty much always been around or a phone call away. So to have him part of our program and working on all my stuff, it's huge for me. You know, if something's happened, he's probably already been through it and knows what to do. So, you know, just a lot of help for me and our whole team. You know, I got Zach working for us too. And, you know, basically any questions Zach has, Bonsai probably has the answer to and has been there and pretty much done that. So it's huge for us, all of us.
Your dad has been running really well as well, yeah. Picking up a bunch of victories. How often do you get to chat with your dad and catch up with him? I know you race with each other occasionally, but this weekend you were at different tracks.
Yeah, actually, I think it was just a couple weeks ago we were talking about we need to win on the same night in different places. And I think before the feature on Sunday there, someone told me my dad won, and then I kind of thought about it. Or my girlfriend told me that, hey, remember, Dad said we got to win on the same night. So, you know, that was pretty cool just to be able to do that. And he's had a really good year, too. So, you know, hopefully he can keep her going also.
That is so cool, man. We've been following along, both you guys winning, and I never put them together on the same night. That is really cool. Well, Sheldon, we appreciate the time joining us. Congratulations again on all the success, and I know we'll talk as the season continues to unfold. But thanks for joining us here today on MRN's Wing Nation.
Yep, thank you.
Sheldon Haudenschild joining us on Wing Nation here in the Hercules Tire hotline, if you will. That's so cool.
That is really cool.
I never put that. I do all the results, but I never put it together the same night.
Yeah, that was really. And it was cool to talk to Sheldon today. I've only had a chance to speak with him a handful of times, and he's always been kind of quiet. But you can tell that life is good right now. Winning races, feeling good about life. You
mentioned that Bonsai. I was up at Attica a couple weeks ago, and Bonsai, we're watching time trials or hot laps or something, and I'm sitting down, and he's one of those guys I say hey to, and he says hey to me. We don't know each other. We don't. I mean, friendly guy, I'm sitting there minding my own business. He comes up for Sheldon getting ready to go out in time trial or hot lap, sits down next to me and says, did you hear Jack and I went to such and such a place the week before, won the race? I said, yeah. I said, that was really cool. And so when Bonds isn't working on Sheldon's car, he grabs the old man and they go win races.
Yeah, Bonsai is a great guy. He's been on the road for a long time, but a lot of fun, too.
Yeah, really cool.
He fits the whole Haudenschild family.
Fits right in really well,
perfect.
Exactly. Well, you hadn't been around for that long if you don't fit in, that's for sure.
True.
It was so cool because just chatting with him there for 2 minutes, it was really neat. Just a great deal. So really cool what's going on with the Haudenschild family. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, our favorite spot in the world, right on turn number 2 in Knoxville. They have the Expand the Dream program, and they continue to just build this incredible. It's already incredible.
Yes.
It's like if they want to make it better, it's like free ice cream. I don't know. I don't know how you make it better than it is right now. Well, no, you just go right during Knoxville Nationals week. You go right on the corner. The Rotary Club has ice cream and pies. Yeah, so you get to even have that. But we always like to talk about birthdays. Monday, Bill Hortzmeyer. Today, Jay Drake. Tomorrow, Don Mack. Thursday's birthday, Jason Johnson, the Ragin' Cajun. Al Cotton Farmer. And on Friday, 2002 inductee into the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, Jack Hewitt. Yes, indeed. Born in 1951, so what does that do? A little math there makes it the 65th birthday. 65 years old. Started racing in 1975. He climbed no, he didn't climb any ladder. He climbed into a sprint car at Eldora. That's where he started. World of Outlaws, he started down the path of the World of Outlaws, but decided that he wanted to be a little more outlaw than the World of Outlaws. So he went his own way, made his own path, won an All-Star Circuit of Champions championship in 85, won the USAC Silver Crown Championship in 86 and 87. 1998 was in the Indianapolis 500, finished 12th. But the one headlining night was the Four Crown race in 1998. Erin, he went there, USAC Silver Crown, Sprint Car Midget, and UMP Modified.
That's awesome.
Won them all. Every checkered flag. I mean, the guy can wheel a car. And his talent on the racetrack is legendary. His personality off the racetrack is
as legendary.
Yes, it is. Incredible talent, brutally blunt and honest. And I always tell people when talking about Jack Hewitt, just go to YouTube and Google Jack Hewitt interview. And if you're a little squeamish or a little politically correct, don't do that. They caught Jack at a moment after a wreck. And I'm telling you, it is an epic. When we're sitting around the truck, we have two things that are our go-to YouTubes. Baseball manager Earl Weaver, who is arguing with an umpire, that just one of the great, and the Jack Hewitt interview. So it is just amazing. But just really all of the great talent and the great passion and the brutal honesty, Erin, makes him really a motorsports treasure, actually.
He really is, and I had the honor to get to become friends with him. And like I feel we talk a lot about Hall of Famers, he was one of those that didn't really think a woman should be driving a sprint car. Yeah. And I ran some all-star shows at Lawrenceburg. And the first night, I think I got up to like 4th or 5th and dropped back to maybe 6th or somewhere by the finish. And he came over to me after the race. First words he ever spoke to me and said, "Did you fall out of the seat?" And I was like,
wow.
No, the car went away. I got like all defensive. So the next night, I think somewhere near the end of the race, I was like 8th, and I managed to get a few more spots and finish 4th. So, of course, I went right over to him. I didn't fall out of the seat tonight. So that kind of started our friendship, and I went over to Australia that year, and I think he was a Grand Marshal of the Avalon Cup, which is a big race, and I finished third there that night, and I'll never forget. I got up onto the podium, and he gave me the biggest bear hug. It was like, I actually have a picture of it. I'll post it so people can see it. But it was all right, I made it. We're buds.
Because he's not one of those that's going to give you the PC thing.
Yeah.
If he doesn't respect you, he's not going to.
He did. He made me uncomfortable and told me that it was called a cockpit for a reason, and I didn't really belong in a sprint car. I heard that. So,
oh dear
in true
God.
Hewitt fashion.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Friday will be the 65th birthday for Jack Hewitt, a motorsports treasure and a 2002 inductee into the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Maybe not all of those, but there are a lot of Jack Hewitt stories at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Find out more information at sprintcarhof.com. We need to step away because when we come back, a guy that I am certain is watching the Weather Channel and every other weather app, among other things, is Brad Doty, 1 week out from the Brad Doty Classic.
I'm Shane Stewart, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Classic Ink USA Screen Printing and Embroidery is constantly testing the limits of custom racewear and specialized embroidery. Headquartered in Western Pennsylvania, Classic Ink holds the highest standard, maximizing your return as well as the ultimate customer satisfaction. From track swag fanwear to quick crew wear, Classic Ink has you covered. Their dedicated staff and designers will keep your race team and fans looking sharp. Contact Classic Ink today and get your team ahead of the competition. www.classicinkusa.com. That's Classic Ink, at the track and on your back.
O'Reilly. Keep your windows clean and see clearer with Gunk Glass Cleaner. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, buy one bottle of Gunk Glass Cleaner and get one free. Gunk's high-performance ingredients clean glass and hard surfaces without leaving a film or residue. Gunk Glass Cleaner, buy one, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Casey Kane. Now back to Wing Nation.
Thank you, Casey. We're having so much fun here on MRN Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tire. Let's go right back to the... Whoa, my seat just dropped down here. Oh, that's pretty cool. If you're watching on YouTube, you just saw my eyeballs light up. If you're listening on radio, nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here.
How tall I look.
Yeah, I just literally kicked the little latch that lowered my seat. There we go. Wow. Folks, it's live. We don't edit that stuff out. All right, let's go to the hotline where I'm sure that that's never had anything like that happen, and I'm sure he's paying attention to the Weather Channel. Brad Doty joins us. Hello, Brad. Welcome to the show.
Hey, you guys. AccuWeather says sunny and 87, and Weather Underground says sunny and 87. So,
wow.
Yeah, I've looked. I'll admit, I've looked at the weather forecast. It's pretty crazy to look that far out, but so far so good.
That's awesome, Brad. How excited are you for this event? And do you know how many cars are coming? What's it look like?
Oh man, it's just all over the board. You know, the Speed Week Attica had I believe it was 48 cars, 47 or 48, and you know some say, well, yeah, the Outlaws are going to have 60 cars. You know, so it's really hard to tell because we do have some cars coming from California. We've got some cars maybe coming from Pennsylvania, possibly a few from the Midwest, we're hoping, and maybe some pretty well-known drivers to add in on that. So it's really hard to tell. You know, the Outlaws come to town, it may scare some of the teams off. So, you know, to me, if we have 40 to 45 really good race cars, I'd be more than happy. You know, I don't need 60 cars to feel like, you know, we've got a good show, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brad also joins us courtesy of Sprint Car and Midget magazine, where you can catch his column each and every week there. You know, I think the irony of it is, and Brad, you're right in your statement that the Outlaws coming to town scare some folks away, yet when you look at the results for Attica and Fremont, there's no reason for anyone to be scared. This is one of those areas where the Outlaws are getting beat somewhat regularly now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that they swept the locals swept the podium last year or 2 2 years ago, whenever it was with the World Outlaws, and I guarantee you, Shots, every one of them know when they come to Attica, they're going to have their hands full. And so it's definitely an equalizer and a place that they know they got to be on their game, and it could be one of the local guys who end up in victory lane and may get their first World Outlaws win right at their home track.
Brad, how involved do you get with the preparation for this race, media-wise, but even track surface? How involved do you get?
Well, I don't know a thing about preparing a track. I just know when it's dirty and dusty, I'm like everybody else. I complain. Ohio tracks, I just did my latest column on Speed Week and had some fans come from out of state that I know and around the country, and they love the racing, but say, why are Ohio tracks so dirty? And I don't know if it's the makeup of the dirt we have here, or because I know that the promoters at Attica and all the Ohio tracks work just as hard, if not harder, than anybody in the country to try to have a good racetrack. And it's been a dry summer here, but I can't tell them how to do it. I don't know. I do know that a lot of the drivers feel, and I've gotten to the point where I feel too, that sometimes overwatering the track sometimes makes it dustier. Like after the B main, if it's cleaned off, I think you're better off to maybe leave it alone. But the fear is the track taking rubber, and then you start blowing tires, and that's a horrible race, and you don't want that for the fans either. So, but again, a lot of it depends on humidity and that day and how much wind's blowing, how much sun and cloud cover. So it's one of those jobs that it's unforgiving, and I'm glad I'm not in charge of that end of it.
It is a farmer managing his crops, managing his fields. A well-prepared dirt track is an incredible challenge, and wind and sun really affect it. It's crazy how that affects it, but it really is when you figure, when you add all that horsepower on it, it's insane what you're doing to the dirt. It's amazing. Brad, when you look at it, we have what is informally known as the month of money, and you hold a very special spot in that because you're the kickoff event of the month of money as we go from the Brad Doty Classic to the Knoxville Nationals. The cool part about it is, and I think what makes it neat for you, is you also launch into the King's Royal Week. How important is it to you personally to hold that spot, and really that's got to help you in promoting that race and getting a bunch of cars there as well?
Yeah, it definitely does, but it's a whole different dynamic this year. We're still only 2 days ahead of the King's Royal. We've always, we ran Wednesday with a Thursday rain date for years, which was 2 days before the King's Royal, and we're still only 2 days before the King's Royal. But now we're 2 days before a Thursday night at the King's Royal, and to me, that's a little bit of an unknown how big the crowd's going to be. At Eldora on Thursday night, especially this first year. And it's taken a lot of years to build their Friday night crowd to what it had been, So how many people can come out to a Tuesday race versus a Wednesday and stay for the week? That's the biggest unknown for me. And, concern that I have is, as I said, we're 2 days ahead of the King's Royal. So, and we're going to get a lot of the travelers, but will we get as many as we did in the past? I don't know. But Attica has a huge fan base of their own in that part of northwestern Ohio. So, but I have talked to a lot of people from Australia. They're coming in California that's coming in. We're taking the week off, and they're going to be there regardless. So, that's good to know. I've talked to Roger Slack in the past at Eldora, and I make no bones about it. It definitely benefited us to be right before the King's Royal. But on the other hand, Roger himself told me he thought it, kind of benefited them too, because it gave people an extra night at a different racetrack, and a little incentive for them to travel from far away too to come in for the extra race. So, and that may have helped their Friday night crowd or their weekend too. So, I'd like to think it works both ways, but I'm not. I realize it favors us more than it does them.
Brad, I know we've had a number of conversations about our love and passion for sprint car racing, and it's been so much fun this year filling in for Kendra, being on Wing Nation every week. And we've had incredible fan incredible shows, I should say, across the country with fans, car counts. It seems that sprint car racing is really healthy. Do you feel the same way?
Yep, and again, that's in my latest column for Sprint Car and Midget magazine. It's talking about Speed Week. The first, I didn't go to all of them, but the huge crowds, especially the first weekend, and car counts, and typically you're going to lose some cars toward the end of the week, and for whatever reason, and Atomic, I think that was affected by weather a little bit from what I heard. Crowd may not have been as strong as what they'd hoped, but and Eldora just seats so many people. That place, it can have what the rest of us would have standing room only. That it looks light at Eldora. So just because they seat so many, but what a week, and that to me proves that somehow, fortunately, that despite the costs and the economy and that there are car owners that can find the funds to put 410 racing out there, especially here in Ohio, and have great fields.
It has been, and I think we see it across the board, but Ohio is a great representation of what we're seeing across the board. Brad, we certainly wish you the best in the next week as you guys get prepared. Advanced ticket sales are still available. Attica Raceway Park is where you can get those, and we certainly hope that weather forecast stays the same for you. Thanks for joining us here on the program, and good luck next week. We'll be anxiously watching.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you again for everything that you've done to help me promote the race over the years, and let's hope that the weather stays the way it is, and have a good night.
Absolutely. That is Brad Doty, and of course you can find Brad's great work in Sprint Car and Midget magazine, where he pens a monthly column. So great stuff. And I knew he had the weather forecast because he's a promoter. Anyone in the racing business, how you doing? Well, weather looks good. That's the first answer.
Promoter and former driver,
yes,
so you have that going.
That's right. Absolutely. You're right. Hey, we need to step away. We've got more great stuff coming up here in just a moment.
Winged Nation with Steve and Erin will return in just a moment on MRN.com.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in crafting hydraulic cylinders and components with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger and creating more opportunities for distributors and repair facilities. Crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. Aggressive Hydraulics.
Friday nights, it's all sprint cars. Saturday nights, it's IMCA modifieds and stock cars. Both nights, it's affordable family fun for the entire family. Be there this Friday night for National Wild Turkey Federation Night, along with ASI Contracting and double features for the Lastec 360 sprint cars and the Race Saver 305 sprints and the HRA non-wing sprint cars. Hot laps begin at 7:30. Saturday night, it's Bank Midwest night. Hot laps begin at 7. Save $3 by purchasing advanced tickets online at JacksonMotorplex.com. The all-new Jackson Motorplex in Jackson, Minnesota, where kids 12 and under are free. Be there.
If you have a question or comment about NASCAR, Motor Racing Network has a direct line for you. It's the Fan Forum Hotline.
I'm a newbie to this sport just this year, and I wanted to know.
I was wondering if when they measure the length of a racetrack.
Call in at 844-4-ASK-MRN. That's 844-4-ASK-MRN.
Wanted to send out a big shout out and thanks for covering the race.
The Fan Forum Hotline, your connection to NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gordon, and now back to Wing Nation.
Thank you, Jeff. Welcome back, everyone. During that break, you heard Jackson Motorplex. They have a big night as they hit the midpoint of the season. And Aaron, Doug Johnson just doing a great job up there. Todd querying the improvements they've done up there. But I'm telling you, Mother Nature, the first half of this year, oh, my gosh. Man, oh, man. But hopefully, I mean, they had a couple of good weeks in a row here now, so hopefully they get to do it. They're running a pair of 360 features with a 12-car invert on the second one. How
That's
about that?
Neat.
Yeah.
I like that.
It is cool. So Jackson Motorplex, another great program this weekend. Time for us to talk about our Jeff Gordon's Kick It Person of the Week. And this one is just a really cool story. 15-year-old in Pennsylvania goes to Mifflin County High School by the name of Ty Wolfgang. Okay, just a huge fan. Does some crew chiefing for one of his buddies along the way. Just really into it. And he developed a sponsorship program for Allen Crimes. Allen's one of the great family teams, the 87 car up in Pennsylvania. Just one of the great family teams, and he wanted to help Allen get to all the Speedweek races. So he did this. He spent some money and bought Alan Crimes decals, and just decals
Yeah.
you can put wherever you wanted to put them, and he started selling these things. Aaron, he raised over $1,300 for Alan
That's
Crimes.
cool.
Isn't that? I mean, at 15,
Yeah,
I wasn't doing that at 15 years old. I don't know what you were doing at 15.
And how thoughtful and generous that is to do.
Yeah,
Take your time.
I was drawing pictures of race cars, not building decals and selling sponsorships.
Still playing in the dirt.
Yeah, exactly. So our Jeff Gordon's Kick It Person of the Week, Ty Wolfgang up in Pennsylvania. I absolutely love this, and it just goes to show that no matter who you are, where you are, if you want to do something, whether it's through racing or through pediatric cancer, which is where Jeff Gordon focuses a lot of his attention, autism, where you and your family, you spend a lot of your time. Folks, it just takes individuals like 15-year-old Ty Wolfgang to make a difference.
Yeah.
Wherever your passion is, go do it. And sadly, I use this to transition to a place where we're asking for your passion. At Selinsgrove Speedway on Sunday night, Jake Waters, seriously injured in a 305 IMCA Pass Pennsylvania Sprint Car Series race. The Beer Hill Gang put a GoFundMe page up to raise a little bit of money.
Which is awesome.
Yes, indeed. Now, I looked a couple hours ago, it was at 17 grand, and now Kreger just looked and whispered in my ear, they're over 20 grand.
That's awesome.
So, folks, look up the Jake Waters GoFundMe page. Burns over a large portion of his body. The medical bills are going to be just amazing.
Yeah.
You know. And so go do that and do whatever you can. Of note on that, and I know he doesn't do this to be noted, but there's $1,000 from Tony Stewart in the GoFundMe page.
That's cool.
Not surprised. No. That doesn't surprise any of us.
I'm surprised it actually says his name
I
so
am
many
too.
times.
Yeah, I am too. And maybe it doesn't.
Yeah.
Maybe someone figured it out. I just saw a tweet about it or something. That's Tony Stewart. That's that is Tony. So Jake Waters and also Ashley Stremme, very, very close with the family. I didn't realize it till I saw her Facebook this morning. So very, very close and a very dear friend to her family. So again, it's Jake Waters. You can go to the GoFundMe page. And they had set goals. Folks, the goals mean nothing when it comes to the medical bills because the goals will just scratch the surface. So consequently, go support the Jake Waters GoFundMe account. Upcoming races this weekend, the World of Outlaws, Cedar Lake Speedway, New Richmond, Wisconsin, co-sanctioned by the National Sprint League on Friday night. Arctic All-Stars, the Lou Blaney Memorial at Sharon Speedway. IRA bumper-to-bumper sprints, Dodge County Fairgrounds and Beaver Dam, Wisconsin on Friday night. King of the West Series, the Keller Auto Speedway in Hanford, California on Saturday. Neil Tire Moa Sprint Cars, they're going down to St. Francis County in Missouri and see what the locals have for them down there. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour or the Sam Haferteep Benefit Series, the way it's been lately, presented by MAV TV, Motorsports Network. Friday and Saturday, they're in the Sprint Car Hotbread of Montana. How about that? Gallatin Speedway in Belgrade, Montana. There's a local tour out there that runs a Big Sky Tour or some, Big West. And so going to go with some 360 racing, regional racing in Oklahoma and in Arizona. Weekly racing, Lernerville, Moeller Raceway Park in Ohio, River City Speedway in North Dakota, Silver Dollar Speedway in Williams Grove on Friday, Saturday night Atomic Badlands, Butler, Devil's Lake, Fremont, Knoxville, Lincoln, Port Royal, and Wayne County. And I love this one. Danny Dietrich talked about it Sunday, Trailways Speedway in Hanover, Pennsylvania. It's kind of the home of the 358s or where they run. They're bringing in the big boys, the 410s. For Sunday evening, so that is going to be a big one as well. Going to be big, big fun to see who does what there. And, Dietrich, because he ran so much 358 stuff there, thinks he has an advantage.
And maybe just won Speedweeks.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that momentum for sure. Knoxville getting closer and closer. They've got a regular program this week. We mentioned that. And kind of a little bit of a tame weekend.
Yeah.
But we know that
after all the Speedweeks, this seems like, man, you actually were able to catch your breath.
Exactly. We actually have some nights this week where we're not going to be up to dark 30 following along with sprint car racing, but that changes next Tuesday with the Brad Doty Classic into Eldora and onward and upward into the month of money. So it is an exciting, exciting time in the world of sprint car racing. I think we got through all the notes here that we had. I'm trying to think. I know what we need to tell you. Wing Nation Weekend presented by Hefner Racing Products. On Thursday, Joey Saldana. He won at Cedar Lake last year, so we're going to talk with Joey. And this one here, MRN Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV, Saturday morning, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in studio with Ashley
Very
and
cool.
I. Yeah, getting to hang out with Stenhouse. It is some great, great stuff. So we invite you to tune in to MAV TV, 9:30 in the morning, 12:30 in the afternoon Eastern time for MRN Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. And with that, that's about going to wrap it up here for MRN Wing Nation. Our friends at Slingin' Dirt, Ashley and David coming in, or as we call it, keeping up with the Stremmies. Always an entertaining task, no doubt about it. So Ashley and David coming on, and Motor Racing Network, all the local short track racing across the board, so make sure you check out what we have. Thanks to Chris Dolack for Speed Sport News. Thanks to Danny Dietrich, to Sheldon Haudenschild, and to Brad Doty, that is, of course, and thank you to Aaron for sitting in. Thanks for joining us here on Winged
You've
Nation.
been listening to the nation's premier winged sprint car radio program, Winged Nation. Tune in next Tuesday at noon for more talk from the dirt tracks. Winged Nation is also available on demand in the MRN.com Media Center or download from iTunes or Stitcher. Winged Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.